Hello from Singapore, I'm Galinda. Today is May the 5th and we have entered day 29th of the circuit breaker period. The Ministry of Health has reported 632 new cases in Singapore as of noon today, taking the national number to 19,410 cases on the island. The majority of cases still remains with the foreign workers living in purpose-built dormitories. It is still early days to confirm whether the circuit breaker has been a success or not. However, the trend we can see at the moment is that the cases within the community has definitely decreased. One of the things I'd like to share with you today is my thoughts on why do some people can't obey the rules of being locked down. I have noticed that some people responded differently to the new rules and to social distancing. Some seem appalled about it and others feel reassured. What might be the account of these differences? It is easy to think that we are all reacting to the same event in the world at the moment, and so we should have similar responses to them. But that's not quite what's happening in our brains. We do not always have the capacity to capture all the information that is coming through our senses, just like what we see, what we feel, and what we hear. Instead, we pay more attention to the information that is most relevant to us, and it creates an interpretation of what is happening in the world. In other words, we tell ourselves a story about what is happening, and then we react to our story. This is perhaps why individuals react differently to the same event, although we are in the same situation basically. Each have different, we all come with different experiences and different backgrounds, and therefore, although we are in the same situation, our reaction to the situation may not always be the same. The story in our head that we attend to, when we put them together, will make up a different story for each individual, and then that will drive our responses to a certain situation. We are constructing our beliefs about the world based on our own experiences and where we come from. We can begin to think about what the differences there might be, which would cause people to interpret recent events, the situations we are in now, so differently. For example, moving towards or approaching good outcomes versus moving away or avoiding bad outcomes. One of the main functions of our brain is to notice opportunities that bring reward and pitfalls that might be damaging to us, both physically and mentally. We then decide what to base that on in our perception of possible rewards or punishments. But each individual weight rewards and punishment in a very different way. At the extremes, for some people, the bright, shiny opportunity is almost all that they can see, and they do not notice the potential pitfalls. But at the same time, for others, the pitfalls are so apparent that any potential reward is not noticed at all. And then we have the introverts and extroverts among us. It is easy to see that if you're not a people's person, the idea of staying at home with your loved ones and not having to be sociable will actually be a relief. But to extroverts, this is a real challenge, since they have to cut off their main source of pleasure. While there are video calls and chat rooms to fulfill the extrovert's longing for contact, there will always be a craving for more social contact. And then we have people with a purpose versus people with a lot of times on their hand. For some people, work has just moved online and they're just as busy as before, if not busier. And for others, their routine has been completely removed without anything replacing it. It is a lot easier for those who are busy and learning new ways to manage their work, so to endure the new rules, than those whose routine has been removed, who will be looking for new ways to fill their time. And then we have the group of people who are tolerant towards uncertainty versus the group of people who are intolerant. Some people need certainty and they like to feel that they have some control over certain events, while others are happy to just react to the events and even find the prospect of a big shake-up exciting. And those who are intolerant of uncertainty will be looking for new ways, new messages that communicates what is the right thing to do. And they will find messages, whether it is safe to go out or not, quite unsettling, and will likely to err on the side of caution. So those who are tolerant towards uncertainty and ambiguity might not even hear the mixed messages, since they will be looking for opportunities in the situation. What can I do now that was not possible before? They are the ones who will revel in the change and to look for ways to put it to use in their businesses, in their families, in their social lives. You will find them arranging play dates online via video calls, or running remote choirs, or even moving all of their business online. So what can we do differently? There are many ways to react at this time of uncharted change. No story is right or wrong. And the way each individual reacts to the situation is the result of their experiences. But because of these differences, we find it very hard to understand each other. And this is the message to myself. I have created my own reality, and so have other people created their own reality. I try to be willing and open and curious about their stories, at the same time to reflect on what might be the differences between their story and my story. I tend to choose to read a lot during this time. Some of the information are totally useless. To help me manage better in this uncertain time, I choose to pick a story that predicts a better but realistic possible outcome for me. Yum yum. Today we're going Cantonese roast duck with braised egg. There we go. The egg is cooked in a sauce, therefore the egg white has turned brown with some seasoning taste. It's fantastic. And some choice salmon on the side. So this is going to be my meal today.